prepare herself fully for the trials ahead. Turning to her father, Flora made her intentions clear. She intended to enlist in the Dimitri's army. The scene transitioned to Roman's office, where Chris inquired about Roman's intentions regarding Flora. Roman regarded Flora as a valuable asset, but he hesitated to integrate her into his army immediately. He instructed Chris to convey to Flora that if she participated in a week of rigorous training and proved her suitability for the Dimitri's army, he would officially accept her. Chris acknowledged Roman's directive, but inwardly he grappled with the realization that this offer was tantamount to rejection in his mind. As dawn broke, the training grounds bustled with activity as Dimitri soldiers engaged in their morning run. Among them, Flora pushed herself to keep pace, incredulous at the hour-long duration of the run. She found the intensity overwhelming, but she held on to the hope that it would soon conclude. However, to her astonishment, the soldiers continued to run without respite. Chris announced that soldiers would be ranked based on their arrival order, urging them to give their utmost effort. Flora's determination surged as she braced herself for the demanding challenge ahead. As the soldiers and Chris picked up their pace, Flora found herself lagging behind, struggling to keep up. Pausing to catch her breath, she realized that the soldiers had no choice but to press on. After completing the run, Chris addressed the soldiers, urging them to abandon the notion that they would always enter battle fully prepared. He stressed the importance of pushing themselves to their limits every day, emphasizing that stamina training was essential for all, regardless of rank. He underscored the necessity of building endurance to navigate diverse terrains and endure until the end. Finally completing her running training, Flora couldn't shake the feeling that Chris's words had been directed at her. However, she took solace in the fact that she had already undertaken her own stamina training prior to joining the Dimitris. Enduring a 1-hour warm-up run and a mountain run of equal duration constituted her basic training regimen. As Chris announced the next phase of training, sword sparring, Flora steeled herself for the challenge ahead. Amidst the flurry of sparring soldiers, Chris offering words of wisdom. He emphasized the importance of efficiency in combat, highlighting the pivotal moment when fatigue became an adversary as heavy as any chain. It was then, he declared, that the true test of skill began. Meanwhile, Flora found herself resting under the cool shade of a tree, observing the soldiers training with surprise. She marveled at the intensity of the Dimitri soldiers' routine, contrasting it with the belief that excessively harsh training breeds discontent. Yet, the soldiers before her seemed to exude enthusiasm rather than resentment. Despite her initial astonishment, Flora resolved not to falter. She acknowledged that adapting to the rigorous stamina training would take time, but she remained steadfast in her determination. Giving up was not an option. Days later, the scene shifted to the training grounds under Roman's command. As Chris reported to Roman, he praised Flora's unwavering determination to complete the training despite her stamina limitations. While her archery skills exceeded the average, Flora struggled in close combat and needed improvement in that regard. Chris also highlighted Flora's remarkable success in combat strategy training on the third day, where she emerged victorious in 9 out of 10 encounters, often employing unexpected tactics. Curious, Roman queried Chris about his perspective on Flora's value to the Dimitri faction. Without hesitation, Chris affirmed his belief that Flora Lawrence was indeed an asset the Dimitri faction required. Upon hearing Chris's confidence in Flora, Roman couldn't help but smirk, acknowledging the potential significance of her presence. Meanwhile, the narrative transitioned to the Dimitri castle alleyway, where Thomas accidentally collided with a cloaked figure. Named Sierra, the Kronos commander and a Korch vice master, stepped forward with purpose. She instructed his subordinates to proceed with their plan that very night, urging them to remain discreet and gather intelligence on the Dimitri's security measures. Hidden in the shadows, Sierra's subordinates nodded in silent acknowledgement. The scene shifted to the Dimitri Plaza, where Sierra sat on a bench, assessing the formidable security measures in place. She hadn't anticipated the level of energy exhibited by the Dimitri's ordinary soldiers, likening it to that of knights. Sierra contemplated the risks involved, acknowledging the perilous nature of their mission. Survival within Dimitri's territory was far from guaranteed. One of Sierra's subordinates approached, reporting their observations of the iron mine. They cautioned Sierra that if their plans went awry, the Dimitri's security could be mobilized within a mere 5 minutes. Furthermore, they emphasized the presence of numerous skilled individuals within the territory, advising Sierra and his team to exercise heightened caution. Upon hearing his subordinate's report, Sierra pondered the extent of the Dimitri's preparation in response to the Kronos Empire's declared assassination plan. She found the situation intriguing, contemplating the thrill of successfully bypassing the defenses to reach Roman Dimitri. Such an achievement promised an exhilarating experience beyond words. With resolve, Sierra instructed her subordinates to inform the rest of the guild members that the plan would proceed as scheduled without deviation. As night fell, all the guild members assembled, ready to execute their mission. Addressing his comrades, Sierra set a tight time frame of 15 minutes to infiltrate the castle. She asserted her leadership role, confident in their abilities. Despite Roman Dimitri's prowess on the battlefield, Sierra believed that her guild members were the true predators of the night. Enveloped in their magic artifact invisibility cloaks, Sierra and her cohorts stealthily advanced towards the entrance of the Dimitri castle, poised to strike. As Sierra spotted 2 soldiers patrolling nearby, she seized the opportunity to strike. Moving swiftly, she attempted to launch a surprise attack from behind. However, to her astonishment, one of the soldiers managed to block Sierra's assault with deft skill. In a swift motion, the soldier activated a magical signal, alerting others to the presence of intruders near the castle walls. Realizing they had been discovered, both soldiers prepared to engage Sierra in combat. Sierra stood frozen, stunned by the realization that their infiltration had been compromised. As Sierra's deception unraveled, she hastily commanded her underlings to dispatch the guards and flee the scene. However, just as the tension peaked, a figure emerged, revealing himself as Lucas, the master of the house sect. Sierra's mind raced as she connected the dots, recognizing the house sect as the renowned information guild operating in Cairo. With a mix of apprehension and curiosity, Sierra confronted Lucas, questioning his unexpected presence. Lucas, unfazed, calmly disclosed his knowledge of Sierra and her subordinates trespassing into the Dimitri territory weeks prior. He revealed his intricate web of connections, citing instances where Sierra had unknowingly crossed paths with his organization's members: the fruit stall vendor, the blacksmith, the iron miner, even the beggars, all acting as spies for the Dimitri. The gravity of the situation dawned on Sierra as she realized the imminent danger of remaining in Dimitri's domain any longer. Swiftly, she commanded her subordinates to create an escape route. But before they could react, their adversaries struck with swift precision, incapacitating Sierra's forces in a matter of moments. Sierra stood frozen, disbelief etched into her features as Lucas issued his ultimatum. With a calm demeanor that belied the imminent danger, Lucas granted Sierra a mere 10 seconds to plead her case. Before Sierra could utter a word, Lucas surged forward, his movements fluid and lethal, dispatching her with a single, decisive strike. The scene then shifted to the inner sanctum of Dimitri's castle, where Ilya, known as the Sword of the Assassination Guild Akorch, prowled with lethal intent. Ilya, a master of her craft, had successfully executed all her assigned missions, targeting influential figures with precision. As she stealthily entered Roman Dimitri's chamber, Ilya's thoughts fixated on her latest mark. Roman, the subject of countless rumors across the continent, lay oblivious in slumber. Assessing his rhythmic breathing, Ilya calculated that he had been asleep for approximately an hour. Contemptuously, she deemed him a fool, unaware of the impending threat. With a practiced hand, Ilya cast a spell, immobilizing Roman and sealing his fate. As Ilya poised herself to strike Roman, the unexpected happened. He awoke, questioning her intentions. Disregarding his inquiry as futile, Ilya lunged forward, only to find her attack effortlessly deflected by Roman's swift finger. Shock rippled through Ilya as she beheld Roman's sudden display of power. A formidable aura emanated from Roman, leaving Ilya momentarily stunned by its intensity. Closing the distance, Roman delivered a powerful punch, but before he could follow through, Ilya invoked her escape spell, conjuring a blinding light that granted her a swift exit from Roman's grasp. Outside, Ilya's thoughts raced as she sprinted away, recognizing the inevitable failure of her mission, even with the combined efforts of the Akorch Guild. Survival now took precedence. In her flight, she caught sight of Chris at the end of the street, his aura a deadly weapon as he effortlessly dispatched members of the Akorch Guild with a single strike. Seeing Chris, Ilya realized he was the figure the guild had sought to avoid. The infamous Kairos Flash, a force to be reckoned with. Doubts crept into Ilya's mind. Had Dmitri somehow anticipated the Akorch Guild's plans? As Ilya sprinted towards an alternate escape route, her mind racing with urgency, she knew she had to evade capture through the path her fellow guild members had secured. Meanwhile, on the other side, Kevin stood poised against the remaining members of the Akorch Guild. With effortless skill, he swiftly dispatched each one until only Ilya remained. In a desperate attempt to overcome Kevin, Ilya launched herself into an attack, but Kevin's reflexes were too sharp. With a single, decisive strike, he incapacitated Ilya, leaving her to rue the guild's ill-fated decision to undertake such a perilous task. A week later, the scene shifted to Lucas's interrogation room, where Ilya found herself divulging information under his scrutiny. Lucas, understanding the gravity of their situation, chose to spare Ilya as a warning to the Akorch Guild about the repercussions of defying Dmitri. He revealed that Lord Roman had fled to the Kronos Empire a week prior, prompted by Dmitri's discovery of the guild's base. Realizing the imminent danger facing her guild, Ilya's focus shifted to their survival. The scene transitioned to the Akorch Guild base. On the magical communication link, Graham, the master of the guild, found himself conversing with Baron Charlton of the Kronos Empire. The Baron's words dripped with skepticism as he mentioned the passing week, hinting at the possibility of mission failure. Undeterred, Graham implored the Baron to exercise patience, urging Kronos to maintain faith in the Akorch Guild. Reluctantly conceding, Baron Charlton agreed to withhold judgment, albeit warning of the dire consequences should failure be confirmed. As the magical call concluded, Graham's thoughts turned inward. No contact had been established with the Akorch Guild members dispatched to Dmitri, leading him to entertain the grim possibility of mission failure. Faced with the looming threat of losing Kronos Empire's support, Graham resolved to take drastic measures. He decided to halt all other missions and rally his guild members to concentrate their efforts on Roman Dmitri. It was a desperate gamble, but one they couldn't afford to ignore. In a twist of fate, as Graham contemplated his next move, Roman loomed ominously behind him, sending a shiver down his spine. The unexpected presence left Graham stunned and apprehensive of the impending confrontation. With a swift motion, Graham hurled daggers towards Roman, but his attack was met with an unexpected defense. Roman summoned his aura, weaving it into a protective barrier that intercepted the projectiles. Stunned by Roman's display of power, Graham hesitated, his hand hovering over the emergency button. Before he could react, Roman surged forward, seizing Graham in a vice-like grip. With a grim determination, Roman declared his discovery of the Akorch Guild's leader. Graham, reeling from the realization that Roman had breached the Empire's territory to apprehend him, couldn't help but marvel at the audacity of his adversary. In a daring move, Roman preempted Graham's attempt to summon aid by activating the emergency alarm himself. As the shrill sound filled the air, Graham warned Roman of the impending onslaught of assassins drawn by the alarm. He questioned whether Roman truly believed he could withstand such a formidable force alone. Unfazed, Roman calmly revealed the grim reality of their situation. With only 30 soldiers left at the Akorch base, excluding those on missions, their defensive capabilities were severely limited. Graham's apprehension deepened as he realized the dire straits they were in. Graham's shock was evident as Roman revealed his thorough grasp of the Akorch forces. Roman's declaration that he had neutralized the soldiers stationed at the base sent a chill down Graham's spine. With brutal efficiency, Roman hurled Graham against the wall, the impact leaving him dazed. As Graham struggled to regain his bearings, Roman seized the documents detailing the Akorch Guild's missions. Roman's keen intellect pieced together the guild's intricate web of targets, revealing their allegiance to the Kronos Empire. Beyond mere assassination attempts against himself, Roman discerned the Empire's broader intentions from the guild's list of targets, including Umberto's eldest son and the magnate of Redford. Recognizing the empire's plans, Roman's gaze hardened with resolve. Meanwhile, the scene shifted to the Cairo branch of the assassin guild Dante, where Ilya returned to find her subordinates. Urgency etched in her voice. She ordered an immediate contact attempt with the Accorch Guild via magical communication. However, their calls went unanswered, prompting a growing sense of unease within Ilya. Sensing that something was amiss, she braced herself for the unfolding crisis. If the Accorch Guild failed to respond, the next logical step for Ilya was to reach out to their client. With a sense of urgency, she directed her subordinate to initiate contact with Kronos. During the magical communication with Baron Charlton, the Baron's somber tone hinted at disappointment. He remarked that it appeared the plan had faltered. Undeterred, Ilya relayed the grim truth. Roman Dmitri had foreseen the Accorch Guild's scheme and laid a trap. Moreover, he had breached borders to assail the Accorch headquarters. Baron Charlton's response was blunt. He inquired if there was more to the report, leaving Ilya shocked by the implication. Anticipation rippling through the crowd, igniting a fervor of bidding frenzy. The host declared that while he had auctioned off numerous artisan swords in the past, none compared to the unparalleled uniqueness of Blaze. With an infectious enthusiasm, the host initiated the bidding at a modest 10 gold coins. The atmosphere crackled with excitement as bids quickly escalated, each increment bringing Blaze closer to its inevitable destiny. From 10 to 50 gold coins in mere moments, the bidding war unfolded with a feverish intensity, each participant eager to claim ownership of the coveted artifact. The auction hall buzzed with anticipation as the bids continued to climb, reaching a staggering 600 gold coins. Yet, just when it seemed that Blaze had found its rightful owner, a sudden hush fell over the crowd as number 53 boldly entered the fray with a bid of 1,200 gold coins. The auction host, momentarily taken aback by the audacity of the bid, could scarcely conceal his astonishment. Number 53 was revealed to be Marquis Valentino, a figure renowned for operating a merchant empire spanning the entire continent. With vast wealth amassed over the years, Valentino remained neutral in the political arena. However, when it came to acquiring exceptional items, he was known to pursue them with relentless determination. As his bids sent ripples through the auction hall, the true extent of Valentino's influence remained a mystery to the denizens of the Cairo kingdom. The auction host could barely contain his excitement at the prospect of such a formidable bidder. The auction hall crackled with anticipation as the auction host proclaimed Marquis Valentino's bid as unprecedented in the annals of the Adelian auction house. The announcement sent a ripple of astonishment through the assembled audience, each member taken aback by the sheer magnitude of the bid. Marquis Valentino contemplated the true worth of the renowned sword, Blaze, recognizing that its significance went far beyond mere mana receptivity. To Valentino, Blaze symbolized a revolutionary breakthrough, a representation of uncharted territory in the elusive mastery of the 10th stage, a realm untouched by any swordsman thus far. In the world of swordsmanship, a dichotomy often existed between famous swords and magic swords. While novice swordsmen favored enchanted blades for their efficiency, seasoned practitioners understood the necessity of wielding a pure weapon to fully unleash their aura. For those ranked as famous swordsmen, possessing a blade capable of harnessing their aura to its fullest potential held immeasurable value. Such swords were deemed priceless treasures, worthy of any sacrifice, even if it meant relinquishing everything Valentino owned. Valentino contemplated the potential impact of the blacksmith releasing additional swords to the market. He believed that if the same blacksmith crafted a second or third sword, the value of Blaze would skyrocket, as it would retain its status as the original creation. Valentino understood that in the realm of artisans, possessing an item labeled as the first held significant recognition, elevating the entire collection to a higher echelon of prestige and value. Meanwhile, the other audience members, driven by their own desires for rarity and prestige, dared not oppose Valentino's bid. The allure of possessing such a coveted item outweighed any potential risks, and thus, the auction host declared Valentino the victor with his bid of 1,200 gold coins. Later, in the seclusion of a private room, Valentino wasted no time in finalizing the transaction. With a sense of eagerness, he handed over 1,300 gold coins to Morris, the attendant of the auction house, insisting that the extra 100 gold coins be considered a token of appreciation for Morris's service. Gratefully accepting the unexpected gift, Morris was visibly touched by Valentino's generosity. In return for his generosity, Valentino made a simple request: information about the blacksmith responsible for crafting blades. As Marquis Valentino expressed his desire to meet the swordsman responsible for crafting blades in person, Morris, the attendant of the auction house, couldn't hide his trepidation. He stammered, explaining to Valentino that arranging such a meeting would prove challenging. Apologizing profusely for the inconvenience, Morris's nerves were palpable. Upon hearing this, Marquis Valentino responded with disappointment. "That's too bad," he remarked, acknowledging the situation. Valentino expressed his belief that it would be a natural decision for the auction house to make. He instructed Morris to notify him first if the blacksmith were to send another item for auction, emphasizing the importance of staying informed and maintaining a strategic advantage in future transactions. Later, as Marquis Valentino retreated to his carriage, clutching the prized sword in his hands, he couldn't help but marvel at its craftsmanship. The sword's flawless blade and its extraordinary man-reactive properties left Valentino in awe. Despite his vast collection of renowned swords, he had never encountered one quite like Blaze. Determined to uncover the identity of its elusive creator, Valentino resolved to spare no effort in his quest. Turning to his subordinate, Valentino instructed him to begin the search by investigating Dimitri's master blacksmith, reasoning that since Blaze's first trade occurred at the Adelian auction house, it was plausible that its origins could be traced back to Dimitri. Assured of his subordinate's compliance, Valentino prepared to embark on his quest, his heart brimming with anticipation. Meanwhile, at Dimitri's training grounds, Chris, engaged in a sparring match with Henderson, emerged victorious, signaling his prowess. As he contemplated the selection of soldiers for the upcoming competition, Chris's thoughts drifted to potential candidates, including himself, Kevin, Vulcan, and Pucky. However, uncertainty lingered over the remaining 2 slots. Suddenly, Chris's attention was drawn to a peculiar sensation, a disturbance in the sky that seemed to reverberate through the very air. Stunned, he gazed upwards, sensing an inexplicable turbulence that defied explanation. Meanwhile, Roman, immersed in his swordsmanship, reflected on a recent encounter with Butler. Contemplating the outcome had he engaged in immediate combat, Roman acknowledged the importance of preparation in securing victory. It was a lesson that resonated deeply as he honed his skills, preparing for whatever challenges lay ahead. Without the luxury of ample preparation time, Roman acknowledged he wouldn't have been able to handle the Stage 5 aura. His decisions, still colored by the memories of his past life as Baek Jung-hyuk, revealed a lingering arrogance and a struggle to fully accept his current identity as Roman Dimitri. In his previous life, Baek Jung-hyuk had been a formidable force, capable of overcoming any opponent. But Roman understood that the same rules didn't apply in his current existence. Facing adversaries like Butler, Roman realized survival in such battles required unwavering resolve and unshakable determination akin to the unyielding cycle of day and night. Engrossed in the repetitive act of pounding steel before the furnace, Roman endured the scorching heat, his skin reddening and blistering. Despite the physical strain pushing him to his limits, Roman remained steadfast in his focus. He recognized the necessity for transformation, not just for himself but also for the blade he wielded, a process of renewal and rebirth. Harnessing the technique of flame recreation, Roman absorbed the flames and channeled the mana within, using the fusion of sword and fire to mold his body closer to perfection. As he underwent his second metamorphosis, Roman emerged from his training chamber with a newfound confidence, laying the groundwork for his ascent to greater heights. Closing his eyes, Roman visualized facing 2 imaginary incarnations of Butler simultaneously, a mental exercise to hone his skills and prepare for future confrontations. He contemplated the intricacies of the heavenly demon sword, which divided into 3 stages: the first half trichotomy, mid-trichotomy, and second half trichotomy. Though Roman had only mastered the first half trichotomy thus far, he sensed a shift on the horizon. With his second metamorphosis completed, he anticipated unlocking new levels of power. Should he achieve the elusive third metamorphosis and gain access to the second half trichotomy, Roman vowed that no opponent would stand in his way. With the unwavering determination and conviction of Baek Jung-hyuk, the legendary heavenly demon, Roman was poised to become an absolute master. Now proficient in utilizing the mid-trichotomy, Roman found himself capable of besting even 2 opponents like Butler simultaneously. However, a lingering uncertainty nagged at him. Was it truly right to emulate the actions of his past life? The operation of aura emitted by the wielder of his sword resembled an explosion, momentarily surpassing even the refined inner power of Miram. Roman pondered whether blindly adhering to the ways of his former self was the correct path. With the realization dawning upon him, Roman understood that he didn't need to conform to the norms of his current world. He resolved to challenge the common belief that the aura operation method of his present life was entirely flawed. Instead, he sought to forge a path that bridged the gap between his current existence and his past life. Summoning the techniques of the heavenly demon sword style mid-trichotomy, Roman unleashed a colossal explosion of purple aura. With a single decisive strike, he vanquished the imaginary butlers that stood before him. In that moment, Roman realized the potential that lay within him, a fusion of both his past and present selves, forging a new path forward. The Roman sword glowed with an otherworldly purple aura, capturing the attention of its wielder, Roman. As the ethereal light enveloped the blade, Roman found himself reflecting on the unexpected twist of his current life. He had initially believed that after gaining another chance at existence, his reborn life would lack the extraordinary elements of his past. Little did he know, fate had different plans. Amidst the silent training grounds, Roman couldn't help but smile at the irony of his situation. In this new life, he mirrored the actions of his previous existence, finding joy and fulfillment in the familiar yet novel experiences. His thoughts meandered through the memories of his past life, and with a renewed sense of purpose, Roman realized the profound beauty of his current existence. The heavenly demon sword style, the very essence of his combat prowess, underwent a mysterious transformation. The familiar techniques now bore a completely different direction, leaving Roman both intrigued and exhilarated. With anticipation building within him, Roman unleashed a singular, mighty strike. To his amazement, the force created a colossal hole in the ground, a testament to the newfound power coursing through him. In the aftermath, Roman contemplated the untapped potential of the heavenly demon sword style. The realization dawned that the path of mastery stretched out before him, promising further progression. In this realm of possibilities, Roman yearned for unexpected events, challenges that would push him to the limits and test the very essence of his being. As Roman surveyed the landscape altered by his singular attack, he understood that the challenges of this world were not obstacles but stepping stones. Each trial became a driving force, a catalyst propelling him towards the zenith of his capabilities. Despite starting anew, Roman harbored an unwavering determination to ascend to the peak once again. The echoes of his feet reached the ears of his companions, Chris, Kevin, and Pucky. Concerned by the unfamiliar sound, they hurried to the training grounds, fearing an attack on their comrade. The sight that greeted them was beyond comprehension. Roman stood amidst the aftermath, a nonchalant expression on his face, as if creating a massive hole without magic was an everyday occurrence. Shocked and bewildered, Chris, Kevin, and Pucky questioned Roman about the spectacle. Roman dismissed their concerns, instructing them to return as he was unharmed. The trio, still processing the inexplicable event, reluctantly left Roman to his training. As they departed, Chris couldn't shake off the astonishment. In his eyes, Roman's achievement was a testament to an unyielding spirit and unmatched dedication. The once weak human, frozen in awe at insurmountable walls, now grappled with the realization that Roman had progressed yet another step beyond their comprehension. Chris, grappling with his frustration, contemplated the stark contrast between his own actions and Roman's ceaseless pursuit of improvement. The looming sword-fighting competition intensified his resolve to not merely win, but to triumph with an overwhelming superiority over his adversaries. The trio left the training grounds. Feeling the urgency to bolster their strength, the narrative shifts forward by a month. Roman, having diligently toiled away, proudly presents his newly forged sword. Contemplating a suitable name for his creation, he seeks one that would resonate with his current self. Reflecting on his past swords, Salamander and Blaze, which symbolized fresh starts, Roman aims for his third sword to embody his present essence, a weapon that strikes fear into the hearts of his adversaries. Thus, he settles on the name Darkness. Chris arrives with a detailed report on the month's activities. Over the preceding weeks, they and their soldiers engaged in battles at regular intervals, meticulously documenting each skirmish. From this rigorous training regimen, Chris identifies several standout swordsmen with impressive win records. Presenting the list to Roman, Chris points out the top contenders, himself, Kevin, Vulcan, Pucky, and the unexpected selections of McBurney and Henderson. Roman, though slightly surprised by the inclusion of the last two names, trusts Chris's judgment and endorses the choices. In a quiet moment between Roman and Chris, Roman shares his perspective on the concept of meaningful loss. He expresses to Chris his belief that such a notion doesn't truly hold weight in the grand scheme of things. With a glint of determination in his eyes, Roman emphasizes that the competition bearing his name serves as a platform to showcase the caliber of his soldiers. Chris nods understandingly, affirming his commitment to the cause. A faint grin graces Roman's lips as he eagerly anticipates the forthcoming challenges, knowing that they will only further validate the strength and prowess of his esteemed warriors. As the day of the competition draws near, all participating swordsmen assemble. Among them, a soldier with striking purple hair exudes confidence, vowing to demonstrate the skills honed on the front lines. Their companion, with features blurred by a veil of anonymity, expresses hope that the former will join Kevin's group, acknowledging Kevin's formidable reputation. The conversation turns to the strengths and weaknesses of various competitors, with Pucky and Vulcan emerging as notable adversaries. For some, the prospect of facing these formidable opponents evokes both apprehension and determination. The announcement of the competition's groupings elicits a range of emotions among the participants. Each grouping is scrutinized, with individuals assessing their chances against fellow contenders. Amidst the anticipation, Baron Liam, a nobleman from the Northeastern Federation, voices his unease at the prospect of facing Chris, recognizing the daunting challenge ahead. Within the Northeastern Alliance, Baron Liam grapples with a wave of apprehension as the day of the competition looms nearer. Yet, his fellow Alliance members rally around him, offering words of solace and reassurance. They remind him of the distinguished lineage of skilled swordsmen from which he hails, urging him not to succumb to despair. Count Conrad, in particular, delivers a stirring speech, imploring Baron Liam not to relinquish hope or motivation. With unwavering conviction, Count Conrad declares his belief that victory will inevitably grace the Conrad bloodline. This conviction is reinforced by the fact that one of his own members is set to face McBurney, a renowned one-armed swordsman, instilling further confidence in their chances. Count Conrad underscores the paramount importance of the competition for the Alliance's survival, vowing to lead the Conrad bloodline to triumph. His impassioned words ignite a fervent sense of excitement among the Alliance members, who respond with resounding cheers and applause. As the day of reckoning arrives, the arena swells with anticipation as eager spectators gather to witness the unfolding spectacle. Inside, Baron Liam finds himself consumed by the weight of expectation, acutely aware of the scrutiny from the Federation. Turning to his loyal soldier, Max, Baron Liam offers words of caution, advising him to tread carefully and avoid unnecessary risks. Yet, Max's unwavering resolve offers reassurance, as he pledges his unwavering dedication to the pursuit of victory. Max acknowledges the formidable reputation of their opponent, Chris, but steadfastly maintains his own prowess as a two-star swordsman, bolstering Baron Liam's confidence in their capabilities. Encouraged by Max's steadfast determination, Baron Liam fervently implores him to face Chris on the battlefield without reservation. He offers his unwavering support and pledges to intervene if Max's safety is ever imperiled. Max, emboldened by the trust placed in him by Baron Liam, sees this as a defining moment to leave an indelible mark. As he steps onto the arena floor, Max is driven by a burning desire to prove himself not only to his lord, but to the watching audience as well. However, upon locking eyes with Chris, Max finds himself momentarily transfixed by the palpable aura of menace emanating from his opponent. Yet, summoning all his courage, Max steadies himself and focuses on the task at hand. As the clash of swords commences, Max charges forward with unyielding determination, his every movement fueled by an unwavering resolve. However, with a composed demeanor, Chris effortlessly maneuvers his sword, causing Max's weapon to slip from his grasp. In a swift motion, Chris strikes with precision, swiftly incapacitating his opponent. The first match concludes in a mere 3 seconds, with Chris from the Dmitri bloodline emerging victorious and advancing to the second round. Baron Liam, taken aback by the vast disparity in skill between Chris and Max, can only watch in shock. Meanwhile, Kevin, also hailing from the Dmitri bloodline, secures victory in his match, effortlessly advancing to the second round. Vulcan and Pucky follow suit, easily triumphing in their respective bouts and securing their places in the next round. The other participants are left astonished by the dominant performances of these four formidable contenders. Whispers spread among the onlookers, affirming the rumors of the unbeatable nature of Chris, Kevin, Vulcan, and Pucky. With these four seemingly invincible, the remaining participants pin their hopes on defeating Henderson and McBurney in the upcoming matches, recognizing them as their only chance to upset the balance of power. Then the scene shifts to, after the group announcements, the focus shifts to a cluster of soldiers who are taken aback by the revelation that Henderson is representing the Dimitri family in the competition. They knew Henderson as part of the Lawrence family, and his reputation as a mere farmer incapable of wielding a sword properly baffles them. They question how Henderson, with his humble background, managed to secure a spot in a prestigious swordsman competition. Among the 6 representatives of Roman, opinions vary, especially concerning Chris and Kevin, known respectively as the Flash and Devil of Cairo for their renowned skills. Participants are eager to avoid confrontation with these formidable opponents. Similarly, the intimidating physiques and mercenary past of Vulcan and Pucky make them formidable adversaries. In contrast, McBurney and Henderson, labeled as a one-armed swordsman and a former farmer, pale in comparison, with Henderson considered the weakest link among them. In the audience, whispers and mockery about Henderson's past embarrassments ripple through the crowd. Being grouped with Henderson is seen as an advantageous stroke of luck, sparking envy among the participants. The scene then transitions to Baron Romero Dimitri, who questions Roman about the necessity of organizing a competition solely to assert the Dimitri family's dominance in the northeastern region. Baron Romero suggests that while hosting such an event might project an image of goodwill from the Dimitri family, the nobles of the Northeastern Alliance harbor no true intention of submitting to Dimitri's authority. However, Roman provides insight to his father, explaining the vital importance of the competition. He argues that the Northeastern Alliance Association may be overly confident in their ability to challenge Dimitri independently. Roman believes that if they come to realize their inability to breach Dimitri's defenses, they may be more inclined to capitulate to Dimitri's rule without resistance. As the first round for Group 5 commenced, all eyes turned to the match between Henderson and Taylor. Henderson's opponent, Taylor, was known among the audience as an adept aura swordsman, prompting doubts about Henderson's chances. Despite the skepticism surrounding him, Henderson exchanged cordial greetings with Taylor. As Taylor engages in conversation with Henderson, reminiscences of their past encounters flood Taylor's mind. Taylor recalls the days spent aiding Henderson on the farm, never anticipating the drastic shift that would unfold. With a hint of disbelief, Taylor expressed astonishment at Henderson's transformation from a humble farmer to a formidable swordsman. Drawing his sword with a practiced hand, Taylor addresses Henderson, acknowledging their prior acquaintance. Taylor, having recently achieved a significant milestone by attaining a 2-star status following a profound revelation, offers counsel to Henderson in their shared moment. With sincerity in his voice, Taylor conveys to Henderson that this encounter marks their final opportunity as acquaintances. He stresses the futility of engaging in a one-sided conflict that would only lead to senseless bloodshed. Urging Henderson to reconsider, Taylor implores him to abandon the impending fight, opting instead for a resolution devoid of unnecessary violence. Upon hearing Taylor's plea, Henderson responds with a firm resolve, urging Taylor to discard any preconceived notions of the Henderson he once knew. With a steely gaze, Henderson warns Taylor that any attempt to show leniency will be swiftly seized upon, exploited as an opportunity to secure victory. Undeterred, Taylor acknowledges Henderson's stance with a somber acceptance, expressing a heartfelt hope that Henderson will not come to rue the path he has chosen. As the match began, Henderson launched himself at Taylor with unrelenting force, his determination palpable in every strike. Taylor, taken aback by the sheer intensity of Henderson's attack, recognized the use of aura in his opponent's movements. Despite the initial surprise, Taylor remained composed, understanding the gravity of the situation. With a swift and decisive motion, Henderson unleashed the Azura sword technique, infusing his blade with aura as he struck at Taylor with precision. In that crucial moment, Henderson's resolve shone through as he vowed to do whatever it took to honor his commitment to Lord Roman and surpass his former self. In the realm of aura manifestation, Henderson found himself trailing behind his peers who swiftly brought forth their aura. Sensing mana and materializing it demanded substantial effort and time from Henderson. The journey was akin to being a tortoise amidst hares, with him consistently at the back of the line. Despite this apparent slowness, Henderson remained diligent, pushing forward with unwavering determination. During the first round of Group 5, Henderson faced Taylor, an adept aura swordsman. Observers speculated that Henderson stood little chance against such a formidable opponent. However, Henderson's perseverance and hard work were about to redefine expectations. In the heat of the match, Henderson's relentless effort nearly led to Taylor's defeat, surprising everyone, especially Taylor. Even though Henderson's progress seemed slow, his resilience and commitment were undeniable. Taylor, astonished by Henderson's tenacity, couldn't fathom losing to him in this manner. Determined to conclude the fight decisively, Taylor employed his own aura to halt Henderson's charge. Despite not wanting to resort to aura against Henderson, Taylor knew it was time to bring the match to an end. With a yellow aura enveloping him, Taylor charged at Henderson with full force, setting the stage for a climactic confrontation. Amidst the clash of auras, Henderson's mind wandered to a conversation with Chris from a month ago. Chris, acknowledging Henderson's initial weakness, had witnessed a transformation within him. Henderson's newfound desire for victory, challenging himself instead of succumbing to defeat, had changed the course of his life. Chris assured Henderson of his worthiness to stand beside Lord Roman, a promise that resonated deeply with him. Returning to the present match, both Henderson and Taylor unleashed their auras, colliding in a clash that would determine the victor. In a surprising turn of events, Taylor found himself defeated on the ground, unable to anticipate Henderson's unexpected prowess. Seizing the opportunity, Henderson stood tall with his sword pointed at Taylor's head, securing his first win in the competition. The audience erupted in excitement as Henderson's triumph unfolded before their eyes. Cheers and chants of Henderson's name filled the arena. The unexpected victory over an aura swordsman by someone who once toiled as a farmer captivated the spectators. Within the Northeastern Alliance, disbelief and shock spread as they witnessed Henderson's unexpected triumph. Questions arose about Count Conrad's earlier assessment of Henderson as a weak link in the group of six. Count Conrad, however, urged his members to maintain composure, confidently stating that the ultimate winner would undoubtedly emerge from the Northeastern Alliance Association. Now, it's Group 2's turn, and Kevin steps into the arena, contemplative as he walks. He can't shake the feeling of being consistently slower than Chris by a whole 5 seconds. Whenever the question arises of who is the sword of Lord Roman, the unanimous answer is always Chris. Yet, Kevin harbors a stern resolve to prove his own value to Lord Roman in his unique way. His opponent, Miles, hails from the Northeastern Alliance. Miles regards Kevin as the Devil of Dimitri, anticipating a fierce battle. Without hesitation, Miles launches into an aggressive assault, charging at Kevin with full force. However, Kevin remains composed, swiftly evading Miles' attacks and delivering a precise punch to his stomach. Undeterred, Miles continues his onslaught, believing that persistence will eventually land him a blow. Yet, Kevin effortlessly dodges each strike, countering with a series of rapid attacks using his knife. As Miles struggles to keep up, his resolve wanes, and he ultimately surrenders. The members of the Northeastern Alliance are left in shock as they witness their fellow soldiers' defeat. Conversely, for Kevin, the victory solidifies his worth by shattering his opponent's will to fight. In that moment, Kevin proves that true strength isn't just about speed or aggression, but also about determination and strategy. The scene unfolds before the commencement of the highly anticipated tournament, where Jonathan, the captain of the renowned Dimitri Knights, rallies his soldiers. They stand in disciplined formation. Jonathan addresses them with a grave tone. He begins, "As you are all aware, this competition is hosted by none other than the esteemed young Master Roman." Jonathan continues, "And among the competitors stands Chris, the ex-vice captain of the Knight Order, a formidable opponent." He implores his soldiers to watch Chris closely, to learn from his techniques and strategies, recognizing the opportunity to elevate themselves as Knights of the Dimitri Order. The soldiers respond in unison, their voices ringing out in affirmation, "Yes, sir." In the arena, Chris, having already triumphed in the first round, prepares for his next challenge. Jonathan observes from the sidelines, a mix of surprise and admiration flickering across his features as he witnesses Chris's skill firsthand. He marvels at how Chris has grown stronger since his days in the Knight Order. Meanwhile, Chris stands poised and focused, seeing himself not just as a participant, but as a representation of Lord Roman's authority. He is determined to vanquish any opponent who dares to stand in his way, ensuring that none shall question the supremacy of his lord. As the rounds progress, Chris's dominance becomes increasingly evident. With each victory, he pushes himself further, feeling a relentless drive to excel. Yet, despite his remarkable performance, he remains unsatisfied, craving more challenges to overcome. Jonathan watches in astonishment as Chris dispatches his opponents with breathtaking speed and precision. He wonders silently how Chris has attained such formidable strength, pondering the influence of young Master Roman on his protege. Meanwhile, among the other participants, a sense of resignation begins to spread. Some soldiers, faced with the daunting prospect of confronting Chris, choose to concede defeat rather than risk humiliation. They rationalize that it is better to withdraw gracefully than to suffer a humiliating defeat on the battlefield. However, one soldier, Farrell, refuses to yield to despair. Despite his doubts about his ability to defeat Chris, he resolves to face him head-on, if only to prove his worth. Farrell sets himself a modest goal, to last just 1 minute against the formidable opponent. As the match begins, Farrell braces himself for the inevitable onslaught. But before he can even mount a defense, Chris charges forward with unparalleled speed, delivering a devastating blow that ends the match in a matter of seconds. The arena falls silent as Jonathan and the other spectators watch in awe at Chris's unparalleled skill. Chris's dominance in the tournament was nothing short of extraordinary. After securing victory in the first round, he proceeded to blaze through the following rounds with astonishing speed. In a mere 27 seconds, he had conquered 5 rounds, leaving spectators in awe and opponents in dismay. The Northeastern Alliance Association could only watch in horror as Chris's unstoppable momentum seemed to defy all expectations. As Chris surged ahead, other competitors also showcased their formidable skills. Kevin's ferociousness earned him victory in Group 2, while Vulcan and Pukey relied on their immense physical strength to overpower their opponents in Groups 3 and 4. Henderson, against all odds, surprised everyone with an unexpected victory in Group 5, further adding to the intrigue of the tournament. Yet, amidst the flurry of victories, there remained one last hope for the Northeastern Alliance Association, facing off against McBurney in Group 6. The scene then shifted to Count Conrad, who, with a keen eye, assessed the readiness of his knight, Gabriel. Gabriel, displaying unwavering confidence, assured Count Conrad of his peak condition, a testament to the rigorous training he had undergone since childhood under the Conrad family's guidance. Count Conrad reflected on Gabriel's journey, recognizing him as the family's secret weapon. As a 3-star swordsman, Gabriel possessed unparalleled skill and expertise. Despite the absence of aura, prohibited in the competition, Gabriel's prowess was undeniable, setting him apart from his competitors. As Count Conrad observed McBurney's advancement to round 3, he couldn't help but attribute it to mere luck. However, he was certain that the end was nigh for McBurney, or rather, for Roman Dimitri. Addressing Gabriel, Count Conrad reminded him of the fate that had befallen all other swordsmen of the Northeastern Alliance Association, leaving Gabriel as the sole contender standing. He cautioned Gabriel against any sense of pity, emphasizing the need to relentlessly crush McBurney, despite his one-armed status. Gabriel, upon hearing Count Conrad's words, resolved that there was no conceivable way he could lose to a one-armed opponent. As Gabriel entered the arena, his gaze fell upon McBurney, whose diminished sense of balance betrayed the loss of his limb. Gabriel pondered how a commoner knight like McBurney, who had once seemed incapable of ascending to knighthood even with 2 arms, could now vie for victory in a competition that epitomized a knight's honor and pride, despite his newfound handicap. As the match commenced, Gabriel charged forward, confident in his abilities and choosing not to rely on aura to prove his superiority. He launched a barrage of attacks, each aimed at overwhelming McBurney. Yet, to Gabriel's surprise, McBurney skillfully blocked every strike that came his way. Gabriel's keen anticipation led him to predict McBurney's next move, a necessary dodge to the right to evade the impending attack. As Gabriel had foreseen, McBurney swiftly shifted in the anticipated direction, unwittingly leaving one side vulnerable. Recognizing the opening, Gabriel seized the moment, swiftly launching his strike toward McBurney's exposed flank. But McBurney, defying expectations, managed to thwart Gabriel's attack with ease. This unexpected defense left Gabriel puzzled, struggling to comprehend the unorthodox movements of his opponent. McBurney relentlessly countered, launching a barrage of strikes at Gabriel, who skillfully parried each blow. Witnessing Gabriel's unwavering defense, frustration seeped into his veins. In a moment of impatience, Gabriel summoned his inner strength, channeling his aura to forcefully repel McBurney backward. In that charged moment, Gabriel's mind churned with a realization. McBurney's journey to the 3rd round wasn't a stroke of luck. It was a testament to his cunning. Despite the apparent imbalance caused by the absence of an arm, McBurney wielded it to his advantage, leveraging it as a strategic tool rather than a hindrance. The scene then shifted to a memory of Roman, imparting wisdom to McBurney. Roman emphasized the fundamental importance of balance in swordsmanship, revealing the existence of the left-arm sword art, a technique devised by a one-armed swordsman. Roman marveled at the creator's resilience and determination, contrasting it with McBurney's initial sense of hopelessness. Through flashbacks, McBurney's journey unfolded, a journey fraught with feelings of inadequacy and despair. He grappled with his disability, struggling to find purpose and meaning in his life. However, as time passed, McBurney refused to succumb to despair. Instead, he clung to a flicker of hope, a hope that ignited a fire within him, propelling him to overcome his limitations and master the left-arm sword art. In a solemn oath to his lord, Roman, McBurney vowed to emerge victorious in the competition, declaring that his life as a swordsman was far from over. Returning to the present moment, McBurney skillfully parried Gabriel's attack before swiftly launching himself into the air. With precision, he delivered a decisive strike to Gabriel's chest, bringing him down with a triumphant smile. In that moment, McBurney credited Roman for granting him a newfound sense of purpose and vitality, breathing new life into his journey as a swordsman. The arena echoed with the resounding victories of Dimitri's swordsmen, each triumph solidifying their dominance over the northeastern region. Their success left the members of the Northeastern Alliance Association at a loss for words, their defeat glaringly evident. Count Conrad, a key figure in the association, found himself stunned by the turn of events. The once formidable reputation of the alliance now lay shattered at their feet, shattered by the overwhelming might of Dimitri. As Count Conrad grappled with the realization of their defeat, he couldn't help but wonder when Dimitri had become so formidable. Shocked and shaken, he questioned the nature of the adversary he had provoked, realizing that even with the support of the central government, victory against Dimitri was far from assured. The other members of the alliance looked to Count Conrad for guidance, seeking direction in the wake of their crushing loss. Acknowledging the defeat of all their swordsmen, Count Conrad grimly accepted the harsh reality that the alliance would now be reduced to mere followers in the region. With a heavy heart, they made the decision to withdraw from the arena, their hopes of reclaiming their former glory dashed by the overwhelming strength of Dimitri. Meanwhile, among the spectators, whispers of astonishment and speculation filled the air. Many marveled at the sudden rise in strength of Chris and his comrades, pondering the role of Roman Dimitri in their transformation. Among them, a brown-haired soldier offered insight into the significance of leadership within a reputable swordsman family. He explained that every such family had a standout leader, whose skill and leadership abilities propelled them to greatness. In the case of Dimitri, it was Roman Dimitri himself who had risen to become the preeminent swordsman, elevating the family's status through his own strength and leadership. This revelation shed light on the clear direction in which the swordsmen of the northeastern region were now headed. To succeed in the competitive world of swordsmanship, the soldier emphasized, one had to pledge their loyalty to Dimitri. It was evident that the once dominant force of the Northeastern Alliance Association had been eclipsed by the rising power of Dimitri, and those aspiring to greatness as swordsmen would need to align themselves with the formidable family. The scene then shifted to Roman himself, who stood tall amidst the jubilant participants from Dimitri. He offered his congratulations to each of them, recognizing their outstanding performance in the tournament. Roman acknowledged that among those who had sworn loyalty to him, there were those who did so out of necessity, driven by the need for strength, while others did so out of genuine respect for his leadership and prowess. Amidst the myriad complexities of human relationships, Roman harbors a distinct aversion to entanglement. While recognizing that some may find themselves with limited options, Roman maintains a preference for simplicity. Emotions, Roman believes, can forge a bond as tight as any, yet his vision of an ideal relationship transcends mere sentimentality. For Roman, the pinnacle of companionship lies in a reciprocal exchange, where both parties bring something of value to the table. In Roman's realm, this reciprocity ensures a steadfastness that endures the test of time. The soldiers under Roman's command yearn for something from their leader, and in turn, Roman seeks something from them. It's a symbiosis that fortifies their connection, enabling it to weather even the most prolonged passages of time. Roman holds in high regard the ambition of his soldiers to grow stronger, viewing it as a testament to their dedication. He implores them never to lose sight of this pursuit. After all, each soldier is handpicked by Roman himself, a testament to his unwavering faith in their abilities. Just as Roman has never doubted their capacity for victory, he urges them to harbor the same unyielding belief in themselves. In a gesture of appreciation and recognition, Roman generously rewarded the victors of the competition with 10 gold coins and 3 days of well-deserved respite. He hoped that they would relish their rewards, expressing heartfelt gratitude for their unwavering dedication and allegiance. The scene transitions to Roman's office, where Lucas delivers his findings on the Alliance Association's movements. He informs Roman that, in line with his expectations, the association has abandoned any plans to confront Dimitri. Lucas asserts that they are unlikely to challenge Dmitri again unless a golden opportunity presents itself. Roman acknowledges the inherent limitations of control in the world. He reflects on the inevitability of dissent, even under the rule of a wise leader. With the uncertainty surrounding Dmitri's potential conflicts with the central government, Roman stresses the importance of minimizing losses in the northeastern region. Thus, he deems the Northeastern Association alliance a necessary evil. Considering his strategy, Roman concludes that he has successfully provoked the alliance, forcing them to confront reality. He resolves that the next step is to employ power to overcome power. With determination, Roman instructs Lucas to proceed with the plan. Meanwhile, the narrative shifted to the northern outskirts of Cairo, where Count Douglas, a prominent figure with a reputation to uphold, found himself seething with frustration. His anger was directed at his workers, who, despite their efforts, had failed to apprehend a group of bandits and retrieve a crucial slush fund. The worker explained to Douglas that although the bandits in the vicinity had been subdued, locating the hidden fund proved elusive. The origin of this fund traced back to Count Barco, who, foreseeing potential conflicts like the one with the Lawrence family, had gathered funds from sources beyond the Golden Bank. Barco, backed by financial support from Count Douglas and other allies, had prepared for unforeseen situations, bringing along a powerful ally named Homeros as his ace card. However, the tides turned against Barco in the conflict with Roman, resulting in his defeat. Barco's escape attempt in the dead of night led to his demise, leaving Douglas with the grim reality that the only person who could recover the borrowed money had vanished from the world. In a moment of despair, Douglas recalled confidential discussions over meals with Barco. From these conversations, he gleaned information about the hidden slush fund. Driven by desperation, Douglas enlisted the services of the Black Moon, a clandestine group, to locate the fund. Yet, their efforts were thwarted when a group of audacious bandits intercepted the transport, making off with the valuable gold bars. The audacity of a mere bandit group absconding with such a significant treasure confounded and frustrated Douglas. Despite the setback, Douglas remained resolute in his determination to reclaim the stolen funds. He issued an impassioned decree to his men, demanding an exhaustive search throughout the northeastern region until the gold bars were recovered. As frustration loomed large, a breakthrough emerged. A worker rushed in, announcing the arrival of the Black Moon and the revelation of the gold bar's whereabouts. Anxious to expedite the recovery process, Douglas instructed his men to bring in the members of the Black Moon immediately. Among them stood Donovan, a figure draped in a cloak, and the leader of the Black Moon. Donovan bore news of a significant development. Through patient surveillance of the black market, he had uncovered the identity of those responsible for pilfering the gold bars. Douglas, fueled by impatience and a thirst for retribution, demanded that Donovan disclose the identities of the perpetrators without delay. Donovan's revelation left Count Douglas reeling with disbelief. The perpetrators of the audacious theft weren't mere bandits, but members of the Northeastern Alliance Association. As Donovan meticulously unraveled the intricate sequence of events, initially it seemed like a routine encounter with bandits, but fate intervened when the bandits crossed paths with soldiers from the Alliance Association. Exploiting the chaos, the soldiers swiftly overwhelmed the bandits and seized the horse carriage containing the stolen gold bars. Donovan asserted with conviction that the soldiers were cognizant of the carriage's ownership, implicating the association in the brazen heist. To substantiate his claims, Donovan presented a damning piece of evidence, a gold bar discovered within the black market. Its distinctive markings matched those of Barco's slush funds, confirming the association's involvement. Further investigation revealed the damning connection. The servant responsible for the illicit sale was affiliated with the alliance. Donovan reflects on the pivotal moment when he divulged crucial information to Count Douglas, realizing the pivotal role he played in thwarting what could have been the Alliance Association's perfect crime. Yet, he acknowledges that their descent into crisis